Hi, guys. It's Sven from Badass Counseling. So we created the Badass Counseling group on Facebook, and it grew to well over 45,000 members. And we kept getting asked by folks for a support group, a growth group that's more intimate, gives more access to me, Sven, if possible. So the Badass Counseling team got together, and they created Community Plus. For a monthly fee that isn't cheap, you get direct access to me 2 times a month where you can submit your questions directly. Monthly drawings for a small group counseling session with me. Monthly drawings for one-on-one counseling sessions with me. Priority Pass access to go to the front of the waiting list for ongoing counseling with me. Priority Pass access to be considered to be counseled by me on the Badass Counseling Show podcast. Direct access to my top 2 selling video courses, Healing the Soul and Unleashing Your Greatness. Interviews with people who've had success in their soul journey, some well-known and some everyday folks like you and me. And a fantastic opportunity to meet and get to know other men and women who take their healing and growth seriously and who do the work. And a social community feed where folks share their challenges, their struggles, and their triumph. And so much more. So go now to badasscounseling.com. Click on the Community Plus sign-up page for premium content and direct access to me and to like-minded people who are committed to healing, growth, and creating a community of support and happiness.
From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven Erlandson, takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Hello, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show podcast. This is a live taping of the lightning round. It's great to have you here. We are joined by friends all around the world, whether you are tuning in from Tucson, Arizona or Tanzania. Yes, we have followers in Tanzania. We have followers in Tasmania. That is actually true. And we have followers in Tokyo. Wherever you are tuning in from, it has to start with the letter T, otherwise leave. We don't want you here. I'm teasing. It's great to have you here. I am joined by my team in studio, Casey over in the booth, and Rob the Rocket. And Rob has just been joined by Carly, the studio cat. Hello, Carly. Rob, what say ye, young man?
You know, I think one of the best takeaways from our show, being serious now, is be a good listener. I mean, I think that's one of the best skills people can have. And if you just listen, good things happen. You greet people warmly and you listen. I think that's real key.
Yes, agreed. And not just listening not just till you can think of what you want to say next. Because then you're not listening. It's listening, being fully present. I have a client right now, a young dad. He's about 35. And they're transitioning into divorce, and he's really learning to step up and be a dad. And one of the things that his 2 daughters are struggling with is really wanting dad's attention, and not attention per se, but wanting them to really see them and hear them and to feel understood. And I said, hey, man, you got to learn how to be present. Slow the fuck down. And he said, Sven, I've never slowed down my entire life. I said, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's because you got all your shit buzzing around inside of you. That's why I'm trying to take you deep to heal you. The single biggest thing that keeps you pinging here off of what Rob said, to be able to listen means to be able to be present, which means to be able to slow the fuck down. And it's not just your external life. Your external life is a vibration of your internal life. And if you can't slow down externally, it's because you're not slowing down internally. And that's because you're scared to slow down internally. You have to stay busy because you're scared of all that shit inside, which is why we go inside and heal the shit inside of us, fine people, so that you can finally slow down that motor inside, so that you can slow down your external life, so that you can be present to the ones you love, because there is no greater gift.
Active listening and knowing when to be passive.
That's right. And in my book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup, in the bonus tracks in the back, the extra chapters, one of the things I do is I put in what I believe are the even more important love languages on top of Gary Chapman's, book, The 5 Love Languages, not the least of which is listening, which requires the power to be fully present to another human being. It transforms relationships in the way nothing else can. First question. Here we go, people. How do you know when you're ready to have kids? This is being asked by Ali or Allie on TikTok. How do you know when you're ready to have kids? My dad was a pastor for 65 years. And I was only a pastor off and on for about 15, 16 years. And my dad used to say to young couples, I remember him telling me this back when I was pastor, and he used to talk about it around the dinner table. He would always tell young couples, you're never ready. Oh, thanks for pastor. You're a real fucking barrel of monkeys. Thanks for nothing. He says, no, you're never ready. And they'd say, well, but how do you know if you can afford it? You can never afford it. But you're never ready. You're diving into something that you have no idea what you're diving into. You're diving into something that you really can't be prepared of, no matter how many wise old ladies you sit and listen to, and you should. No matter how many parenting books you read, and you should. No matter how many parenting classes you take, and you should. But you're never ready, Allie. How do you know when you're ready? You're never ready. But, Allie, if I'm being totally honest with you, if you had to fix the plumbing under your sink, now I'm going to premise this by saying, I'm going to assume you're not a plumber, okay? And your dad wasn't a plumber, or your mom, okay? So if you have no plumbing experience, but you decide, you know what, I'm going to fix this little plumbing thing under my sink. My neighbor, next door neighbor, he keeps telling me I can do it. So I'm going to fix this plumbing thing under my sink. But I've been talking to him, and he's sort of giving me some tips. Then what are you going to do? You're going to go on YouTube, and you're going to watch some fucking videos, aren't you? And maybe you'll pick up a little book on basic plumbing. And then you're going to go to Home Depot, and you're going to talk to the woman who's in their plumbing department, and she's going to show you the right pipes to do, and so on and so forth, because you brought pictures, and you need to get a plumbing wrench, and then you're going to fucking do it. And you're going to step by step, and you fucking did it, and it feels great, right? Parenting is the same as plumbing times 10,476,000,001. What did you do with that plumbing? You asked people, you read a book, you watched videos, you educated yourself. Now, Allie, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling at everyone because I'm loud and it feels good. If you are not taking parenting classes, you're a fucking moron. If you are not reading parenting books before you have the child, if you're not reading how to parent a tween or a teenager when your kid is 5, you're an idiot. I'm telling you, you're an idiot. You might as well be going under your sink knowing nothing about plumbing and say, I'm plumbing. And just start banging shit and disconnecting shit. It's the same except 2,476,001,012.99 more times. It is the most complex equation you will ever encounter in your life. I was a mathematics major at an engineering university. I know a little bit about mathematics, and I know of no calculus in human experience greater, in the universe, greater than raising a child. The human animal, but especially raising a human animal, especially in community. And if you are not studying and taking classes to at least begin to prepare yourself, you are fundamentally damaging this fucking child before they're ever out of, and I'm going to say it nicely, the womb. Rob, did you catch that?
Appreciate that.
Okay. Now, you all know I would have used different language there. I did that as a gift to my editor. So, here we go. Allie, do some research. Take a class, please. Read some books, all right? And if you have a teenager, coming, read the book Scream-Free Parenting. Hell, not even a teenager, a tween, 8, 9, 10-year-old. Read the book Scream-Free Parenting by Hal Runkle. Great book. There are so many great parenting books. I was raised as a Spock baby, Baby in Childcare by Dr. Benjamin Spock, and it's in like its 46th edition. I was raised as one of them. Do not raise your children on the therapy. I'm just going to do the opposite of what my parents did. That's one of the worst parenting strategies there is. Do not raise your children on, I'm going to do everything my parents did. Also, not the best strategy. Not a terrible one, but not the best one. I'm just going to wing it. The worst parenting strategy. Okay. Research, Allie. You can do this. You got it, Allie. All right. Just do your research, just like anything else. And above all else, recognize the fact you're going to fuck up, Allie. You are going to fuck up. Every parent fucks up. It's the willingness to own those mistakes. Apologize, learn from them, move forward. All right. Next question. This is from Chef Tasty on TikTok. Breadwinning partner does bare minimum at home, but maybe I'm being too entitled. Yeah, no question there, but I guess you're saying that you wouldn't be writing that unless you wanted your breadwinning partner to do more. And the question is, what is the value you put on breadwinning? Now, obviously, you are living presently under a sort of 1950s construction of roles in a home. You want your breadwinning partner to do more. Your breadwinning partner does not want to do more. You wouldn't be writing unless you wanted them to do more. Perhaps your breadwinning partner, it sounds like you're using the word entitled. I'm betting your breadwinning partner has said that. Some people say, well, the breadwinner should be doing more at home. But, it really is interesting. Every couple chooses to define their relationship differently. And for some people, it is a fair trade. Listen, if you're bringing home the money, then I will take care of the front side. For some couples, it's like we're running a business together. And the business is you're bringing home the money and I'm raising the kids and taking care of the home. And it's not necessarily by gender anymore. So a very good friend of mine from back in the home country, Minnesota, the husband raised the kids, take care of the home, and she is an extraordinarily successful entrepreneur. So everybody's different. But obviously, you are wanting him to kick in. And the question becomes, in your own mind, does it feel fair? And what would it need to look like in order for it to feel fair? You need to stand up for your needs. He obviously, it sounds like, doesn't like it. And so you're going to get pushback. And are you willing to stand up and keep standing up, knowing that you may not get what you want and it's going to cause conflict? Are you willing to stand up even through conflict?
Fairness is the key.
Fairness is the key, but the truth is two people may be defining fairness differently.
I agree.
And it requires the willingness to stand up for yourself and also be open to listening to what your partner is saying. Two people have to be doing that. Yeah.
There was an imbalance when I retired. I still had a pretty good income from pension and Social Security, but my partner was still working. And her opinion was, well, you cooked everything all the time, but you also made the mess cooking, so you do the dishes. There's an unfairness there.
That's a good point. And I guess I'm presently in a relationship where we both are earning breadwinners and both are helping out around the home and so forth. In certain areas, she does more. In certain areas, I do more. I like to kid her. Any feminists want to hear this joke? And I'm pro-feminism. Okay, whatever. This is my joke. Well, I'll say something like, well, women only bring home, 8 cents on the dollar. So that means you're bringing home less money. So don't you have a responsibility to do more work at home? She doesn't laugh. That's when I get hit. Anyway, yeah, that was a joke. No, my point is that I'm always, to me, love is busting my ass for the person I love. And I finally found someone who defines it the same way. And I shouldn't say that because I've been with other women in the past who did as well. But I just feel like I'm in a relationship where we're both busting our ass for each other. And that's what love is, where I can't outgive the other person. And that's a great relationship. And you may find that that's what you want for yourself, or you may find that you stand up for yourself and don't back down. And I'm always in favor of that. Don't back down. Your needs matter just as much as your partner's, and you need to be tuned into your partner's needs.
And if you cook, the other person should do the dishes.
Or maybe you're okay with your other person not doing the dishes because your other person does, I'm just making something up here, all the external yard work and doesn't expect you to do any. So it can be trade-off by sectors. You see what I mean?
Got it.
Yeah, and just a thought. Everybody divides it up differently. All right. Jess, 4150, there's not really a question here, but Jess says, I buy a bed, but my dad feels disrespected because I didn't ask him. Mind you, I'm grown. Am I wrong? Do you live with your dad? Your dad feels disrespected. You're a grown person. You bought your own bed. Dad feels disrespected. Ask Dad to talk about it. I don't see what you did wrong there. Dad can have his own feelings, but the truth is it's your money, your way. All right, next question. If there's some rule you broke, but you don't mention breaking any house rules, so there you go.
Maybe he bought a bed for his dad.
Didn't say that, but you may be right. That would be different. Then it would be offensive. Have you ever done that? Like bought a gift for like your in-laws for their house, or bought a gift for anyone like for their house, like for decorating. And then you realize I'm never going to do that again because, or somebody buys you a gift for decorating for your house. It's like, I really don't want to hang this in my house. A woman that I was with, her sister had bought for her parents an old-timey, like 1800s ewer urn for their home. It was sort of pseudo 1800s-ish, and urn and vessel like you might wash if you were in a, like a hotel back in 1880, and they had to put it in their house. And I knew it wasn't their style, and I saw that, and I'm like, oh God. They ended up putting it in their basement or something, but it's one of those, it's like, you don't buy something for someone else's house to decorate unless you absolutely know their tastes, but not my problem. All right, next question. Here we go. 007 writes, how do I become present and learn to have emotions again after healing childhood trauma? How do I become present and learn to have emotions again? Becoming present implies that, how do I become present implies that potentially there's a fear of being present, because it doesn't necessarily imply that you don't know how to be present. You were not present before because you were so checked into your own life that you were checked out of whatever was going on in front of you. Okay, so whatever was going on in your own life that checked you out, if you claim it's after healing your childhood trauma, that if you've actually done all the work of healing your childhood trauma, that is all out of you, so it's not corrupting you on the inside, so you're not emotionally or mentally checked out anymore. So you're naturally going to be present. So if you say you don't know how to be present, that seems to imply to me that there's still something going on inside of you. In your next clause, you say, learn to have emotions. We don't learn to have emotions. Emotions are a natural response. We don't learn to have them. Per se. Now, you may be using shorthand because on TikTok, you're only allowed a certain amount of words. So that may be just shorthand for the fact that I was never allowed to have them. And so they're locked down. And so I'm not used to sort of feeling safe or feeling comfortable or just allowing myself to have that natural response, that if I hit my thumb with a hammer, that I cry. Or that if somebody says, you're a stupid bitch, that I say, or you start to tear up a bit. That hurt my feelings. Or I'm angry with you for saying that. Okay, I wasn't allowed to feel that way. How do I allow myself to do that? I'm willing to bet, and I don't mean this to be offensive or whatever, there is still a fear in you of allowing it. Because that permission that goes along with learning to have them, there's two things. There's permission, and then there's just getting used to it, orientation. That permission comes from believing I don't have permission, which implies there's potentially still a voice inside of you saying you can't do it. So how do I learn to have emotions? In all honesty, you start with yesterday. You start with the single most recent emotion you have had. Even if it was just somebody cutting you off in traffic. Even if it was just your coworker dropping off that project right as you were going out the door. It's like if you haven't had sex with your partner for a while, it becomes habitual. And you start, and it's uncomfortable. And you start, but you start, when it comes back to this, start with the most recent thing. What was the most recent time where you felt something? Maybe it was just this morning. When something happened on the news, you heard it on the news or across your Facebook feed or whatever it was. And you've got to allow that and feel, even if it was just teeny tiny, then journal about it, write it, and maybe even write a little letter to that person, a little note. You were really mean to me. That's an opening. Take that open door, start right there, and then start with your next little thing. Don't go for the big ones. Because the truth is, after you've healed your childhood trauma, how could you have healed your childhood trauma if you don't know how to have emotions? I'm genuinely, honestly confused. How do you actually heal trauma if you don't know how to feel trauma? Anyway, I have to leave that one in all honesty because it's very confusing to me without being able to ask more follow-up questions. All right, next question. There was a follow-up one on the distribution of labor in a home. Chef Tasty writes, husband works third, and I am a pre-K teacher. We have 2 boys, 10. Oh, pre-K teacher. So you're a teacher. He works third shift. We have 2 boys, 10 and 6. He's taught me a lot about home repair so I can fix a home while he earns money first. But it sounds like you're earning money as well. So 2 people earning money. He works third shift, but is that an additional shift? So you're both working a job. Sure, he earns money for us, but it sounds like you earn money too, and you're doing home repair, and you're raising the 2 boys. Sounds like an unfair distribution of labor. It's just like, come on, man. In all honesty, stand up for it. Stand up to him. Stand up to him and say, I need you to do more. Come on, we're a freaking team here. I love you. I love serving you. I need you to love serving me. I need you to dive in. Maybe where you want to dive in, husband, is with the kids. Dive in more on the kids. Great. Or something. I need this as a team. I'm getting tired. And I'm more importantly than the tiredness, I'm just feeling exhausted. I need us to feel like a team, and I don't feel like a team. Well, I don't have to. Then you're alienating me. Do you understand how you're hurting me? You have to stand up and make your feelings heard. I don't care if it's this person in this situation or any of us. If you don't make your feelings heard, you are not educating the person on how they can meet your needs. Furthermore, you are fundamentally teaching disrespect of you. If you don't stand up and insist on being respected, you're saying it's okay to disrespect me. Do not do that. Much more to come right after this short break.
So I was telling a buddy of mine how he seems happier. He told me about the book that changed his life. So I bit. I went to the Badass Counseling website and downloaded There's a Hole in My Love Cup audiobook. I started listening to it on my commute home from work, and holy cow, it was a Louisville slugger to the face. I literally sat in my car in the driveway night after night, listening through to the end of a chapter or doing the journaling exercises. My wife started to see changes. I started to change a lot. My default response stopped always being anger. Now, I manage a team of salespeople, and I changed as a leader. I was listening more, not always just reacting. When their numbers started going up seemingly out of nowhere, I knew what the reason was. There's a Hole in My Love Cup is now required listening for any person on my sales team or working for me, and I gladly buy it for them. You gotta listen to this book.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
We are back, and we're diving right in. I've got 2 clear-ups. Rob has a question coming in from YouTube, but I want to clear up 2 things. Chef Tasty follows up and says, no, I'm not earning money. Husband earns the money. I'm raising the kids, and I'm doing home repairs. Okay, so you've got you're handling the home front. He's bringing in the money. You're feeling like you're overwhelmed. It sounds like you want him to help in more at home, and he's feeling like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm working third shift, et cetera, et cetera. You guys got to have conversations about distribution of labor, but that's not really the issue. It sounds to me, in all honesty, like the 2 of you are both feeling overwhelmed. What the 2 of you have to do is learn how to get your pain, frustrations, emotions, and tiredness out of you. The problem may not be about fairness and distribution of labor at all. The issue may be just plain exhaustion and getting out your feelings. You may not actually have a problem in the marriage per se. You might, but it may not be that at all. It may be just that you're charged up with emotions and frustration and sadness and tiredness and all that. This is why we journal, people. This is why we write letters we don't send, or this is why we go to a therapist, although I recommend journaling anyway because it'll save you money, but it'll augment your therapy as well. But just start flushing all that shit out. Because when we're feeling frustrated, when we're feeling tired and worn down, we have to get it out. Otherwise, we're just running that battery lower and lower and lower and lower. And one of the things, I don't know much about cars. Dad taught all of us, 5 boys and my sister, we taught us about cars, but some of us had less retention, Sven being top of the list. But I do know this about car batteries. Eventually, you cannot jump a car battery anymore. Eventually, a dead car battery will not hold a charge. Did you know that? that if it dies on you, yes, you can recharge it. And yes, you can recharge it and again. But eventually, it won't be able to recharge. Eventually, a dead battery won't be able to hold a charge. I'm not going to get into why that is because I have no fucking clue. And I don't care. If you drain your battery lower and lower and lower to this person writing in, Chef Tasty is her name. If you drain it lower and lower and lower, if your husband drains it lower and lower and lower, eventually it won't be able to hold a charge. Eventually it won't have any energy, and the two of you will be so sick of each other, and you will think that each other is the problem. Each other isn't the problem. It's that neither one of you is taking responsibility for your own fucking self. And getting out of you the pain, the frustration, the exhaustion, the sadness, the anger, all of those feelings. This is why self-care is so fucking important. I'm all in favor of therapy. You want a therapist? Get a therapist. I'm all in favor of it. But I am even more in favor of self-help. Self-care. I had to get myself out of a 12-year suicidal depression. Do the work on yourself, kids. All right. And then follow up on 007, who was talking about, she had done the self-work on her childhood trauma, but she's wanting help trying to figure out how to feel feelings. And she followed up by saying, the reason I can't feel feelings or I need help figuring out how to feel feelings is because you've avoided them your whole childhood, of course. And that makes total sense. But the bottom line is you haven't fully healed your childhood trauma if you still don't know how to feel feelings. There is still all of that dam. You have a full dam blocking up all that water, so to speak, of all of those feelings. So you've gone into all of the memories and so forth, but the emotional charges attached to those memories, those are still dammed up inside of you. And you're terrified and you're running from all that shit. All right, next question. Rob, go ahead.
When your battery won't hold a charge and you have to replace it, it takes quite a bit of effort. I just spent $300 on one for my car, just as a metaphor.
Well played. It requires effort. And 007, that's why I wrote the book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. This will take you in. It will take you deeper than what your therapy has done. I guarantee you. And it will force you to face those feelings. And it will teach you how to touch them, how to access them, how to unlock them. It will absolutely kick your ass. I guarantee it. All right, next question.
All right, it's from Soul Search on YouTube. I think you're uniquely qualified to answer this one, Sven. Soul Search says, I am conflicted between religion and spirituality. My heart leads against some of beliefs in religion, which is right, my heart or religion? Can you help me understand?
35 years ago, I wrote the very first book on the spiritual but not religious phenomena in America, long before it ever hit critical mass 20 years later. You can go on Wikipedia right now. Go on your phone, go on Wikipedia, punch in spiritual but not religious. My name is there. All right. I wrote the very first book. There had been one obscure article on spiritual but not religious like 10 years earlier or whatever. I never read it. It was some fucking that supposedly mentioned a few things about it. I literally delineated it. Bottom line is, I would ask you the question if we were in conversation having a cocktail or something, I'd say, what feels right to you? The truth is, you are never going to find any religion that lines up with all of every single one of your personal beliefs. I used to preach from the pulpit. Give me a couple, a husband and a wife, who go to church together, been going to church together for 35 years, for 55 years, 5 years, whatever. Give me 30 minutes with each of them, and I will find at least 5 things that they disagree on theologically. Guaranteed. Hell, give me 20 minutes and I'll do it. Why? No two people believe the exact same thing. I don't give a fuck what church they go to. Okay? The point of great religion is to draw you into closer communion with your God. That's all. It's really simple. And there are going to be parts of the belief system in your religion that resonate with you. There are going to be parts that don't. And the parts that don't, that's okay. The parts that do, wonderful. One of the beauties of religion done well is that it helps people find peace, find love, loving kindness, hope. But also, what I believe, one of the beauties of religion, I can find this. You send me into a fucking Hindu temple, you send me into a Jewish temple, you send me into a Christian chapel, you send me anywhere. I love the power of religious ritual. My girlfriend and I go to Native American powwow. Oh, wow. That's fantastic, man. It's when the spirituality, in any religion, it draws out that the religion itself feeds that sense of spirituality, that connection of my soul to the divine, to my own self. So the question then is fundamentally what?
I'm conflicted between religion and spirituality. My heart leads against some of the beliefs in religion. So which is right, my heart or religion?
It's both. It's both. Find the religion that connects with you. There's so many different flavors. I mean, people say, well, Christianity doesn't connect with me. I'm like, what does that mean? Do you know that there are about 780 million different flavors of Christianity? So many different denominations, so many different segments within denomination. Well, I don't agree with the Roman Catholics. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Do you know how many different types of Roman Catholicism there are? Hell. I studied at a Roman Catholic seminary for 2.5 years, even though I was preparing for Lutheran ministry. Just in the Catholic seminary, just in the Catholic Church, if I were to go 20 miles from where I'm sitting right now, 20 miles, I could find significant different theologies preached at Roman Catholic churches within 20 miles of where I am right now. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And I don't mean just on politics, I mean on theology. All right? And different takes on theology, different takes on, hell, even abortion. A lot of people don't know. Augustine, Aquinas, you study your fucking theology. They didn't believe that the fetus was actually a child until the third trimester. You never hear the anti-fucking abortionists talking about that. Oh, but the Catholic Church says, do they really? The point is you got to find what speaks to your soul. And you don't have to accept every last jot and tittle of every last religion. Find that which draws you closer to your God. All right.
Sven, when an atheist questions my faith, what I say is the God you don't believe in is the same God I don't believe in.
I like that. That's brilliant. And I'm pro-atheist too. I really am. I'm all
Me too.
for.
I got no trouble with it.
That's right. And if that's what speaks to your soul, God bless you. I mean, who gives a shit, man? It's just like, can't we all just get along? And ultimately, part of the challenge of any religion or non-religion is that we all exist in human community anyway. There's always going to be the bumping of elbows and the bruising of ribs. And is there room for understanding and contrition and forgiveness and moving forward in our relationships in kindness and love and generosity of spirit? Next question.
Amen.
Bailey on TikTok says, advice on navigating telling a sister-in-law no that wants to bring her married boyfriend around. Oh, tell her and hold your boundary. That's it, Bailey. And in all honesty, folks, and I did a post on this just this week, the challenge with boundaries that most people do not understand is that the real challenge is not setting boundaries. The real challenge is holding boundaries. Why? Because it requires confrontation. And it's your sister-in-law. And in all honesty, I believe in the very difficult challenge, speaking about religion, the Apostle Paul in the Christian religion, he used the phrase, speak the truth in love. It's very easy to be loving all the time, and it's very easy to be, we all know people who are sappy, syrupy, lovey. Oh, la. That's easy. We all know people who are very truthful all the time. Well, hey, man, I'm just brutal honesty all the time. Yeah, no, you're a dick. But to be loving and truthful, well, that's a bit more different, a bit more difficult. But if you're loving to people a lot, then in those rare times that you're truthful or tell a hard truth, it exists within the context of love. So what I would tell you, in all honesty, is I would say to your sister-in-law, I love you and I genuinely care about you, but I'm going to be very straight with you. And you may not like this, and I accept that, but I do not want your married boyfriend around. I'm just being very straight with you. I love you. I adore you. You are welcome in my home any day of the week. I do not want your married boyfriend here. And this is why X, Y, and Z. Well, then I don't want to see you. And I accept that. And I knew that coming into the situation. I love you and I understand you may not want me, but this is my boundary. And you've got to be willing to lose your sister-in-law. And if you're not, then those are your terms. The real question is, what does your spouse say about this? Because if your spouse doesn't back you up, then we've got a fucking different fucking question, don't we? We have a very different question. All right. And that's something you have to sort out with your spouse. Next question. I've got a question coming in. Advice on finding a therapist. It's so hard. I'll be very honest with you. I'm going to be very, very, very honest with you. I do not believe that therapy, in fact, the tagline of my business is because healing shouldn't take a long time. Because healing shouldn't be slow. And I believe in long sessions. I require all of my clients to write a 10-page or less autobiography, which they have to send to me beforehand. I read it. I don't charge for that. So that's and I spend 2 to 3 hours studying that in advance. So that's a 2 to 3 hour investment I make. That's a $1,500 investment I make in you. That's a good faith investment. So I know your whole story before you ever darken my door. I don't know why every therapist doesn't do that. I honestly have no idea. All of my intro sessions are either 6 or 7 or 8 hours. Most people are like, how the hell can I sit for that? You'll be shocked how quickly it goes. Why? Because for the first time in your life, you get to talk about your real shit with someone who actually gives a shit enough to listen and actually knows where to take you. It's what people have been waiting for their whole life, to finally solve their real fucking problems. But people doing these 50-minute sessions, to me, can some good come from it? Sure. Am I in favor of therapy? Sure. But a 50-minute session, it's like, for me personally, what I would be looking for is someone who does extended sessions. What I personally would be looking for is someone who is aggressive in their style. Someone, who brings both love, but who is direct and gets results and who pushes you hard. You do not want, you do what you want, but you don't want a therapist who's just asking how your week has been and shit like that, because you're never going to dive into the real shit. If I'm being totally honest with you, read the fucking book. Read the book. You're going to get more out of this than most therapists. Not all. There are some fantastic therapists out there. I am all pro therapy. I really am. There's some really good therapists and psychologists, psychiatrists out there, but read the book. There's a Hole in My Love Cup, because this will kick your ass 12 ways till Tuesday. All right. There's a Hole in My Love Cup. You can get it at badasscounseling.com, et cetera, et cetera. Next question.
Sven, on YouTube, Ms. Kitty Cat says, I'm getting over multiple major spinal injuries, but I want to pursue a course of degree-level study to keep my mind active. How to decide what to do? A few things are jumping out. I'm just not sure I can choose something that aligns with my current health presentation.
And my question would be, and this is an honest question, why would it matter what you study in terms of aligning with your spinal thing? If you're just studying stuff that's up here, obviously you can't be studying, I would assume, physical therapy. I want to be a physical therapist. If you're wanting something that's an intellectual pursuit, why would what you choose in terms of an intellectual pursuit be determined by you recovering from spinal surgery? Do you understand my question, Rob?
I do. That it's just a matter of, do what's right for you, whatever you feel like you want to learn, regardless.
Right. And the way you do that, in all honesty, is keep exploring programs, schools. There's so much great online schooling. Find that which tickles you. And I mean that almost literally. That which tickles you, that which feels like play, that which excites you, bubbles up as play. If it doesn't bubble up as play, don't fucking do it. Don't, because it won't. It's got to be that which excites you. One of my favorite poems is a little ditty, and it's from the writer. It's from his book Gods and Games. What's his name? Anyway, the poem goes like this: taking fun simply as fun and earnestness in earnest shows how thoroughly thou none of the two discernest. In other words, if you think serious stuff is just always supposed to be serious, you're missing the point. And if you think play is always just play, you're missing the point. That which is play has a very serious aspect to it, and that which is serious has a very playful aspect to it. That the shit you're going to get the most serious about in life is the stuff that is play for you. Find that which is play, and you'll work harder at it than anything else in your life, and it will seize your attention. And the mere fact that it seizes your mental attention will help your healing, not just because it'll take yourself off your pain, but it will enliven you. And there is nothing like the quickening of the spirit to heal the body. All right, next question. So many good questions coming at me. Here we go. This is up to date one. Really great question here. CP Harnham asked the question. This is really great. I love this. Applicable to all of us, I think, because we've all wondered in this world of AI. Curious your thoughts on people using ChatGPT AI as therapists or as a tool to reinforce beliefs. I am always in favor of exploration. Back when I was in my 20s, and couldn't find a therapist to help me, and I had just sort of begun or was in my 12-year suicidal depression, even though at the time I didn't realize sort of how big it was or the context of it all. I was exploring self-hypnosis. I was exploring New Age. I was exploring deep theology, which of course I was studying, spirituality, fucking you name it. All right. Fucking Egyptian, fucking Mesopotamian spirit, religions, everything, right? All the Joseph Campbell shit, everything. And so I'm a big believer in exploration. If you can find things that help you on this phase of your journey, I'm all for it. However, that being said, there is also a human element that I believe a computer can't do. And we're seeing that, right? There's pieces in the news of damage being done by AI therapist ChatGPT because it's not human, right? We don't need to get into all that right now. It's in the news. Just Google it. So I'm in favor of it on one hand, but if I'm being completely honest, I just am not a fan of taking the human element out of one of the most human things in the human experience, which is spirituality and human feeling. In the end, I'm just a big favor of humans. But maybe that's just me being a fucking Gen X fuddy-duddy. I don't fucking know. But I explore. I'm in favor of exploration. Does it speak to your soul? Or is it just confirming my fears? If it's keeping you stuck in your fears, not good. If it's just, oh, how was your week? And gee, you need to learn coping skills and you should try meditation. It's just like, fuck off. You're not taking me deep. And the truth is, if it's confirming, if I'm being really, really, really honest, if it's just confirming the same shit that a lot of crap psychology is confirming, which is, these skills and change your behaviors and da-da-da, and it's not taking you deep into healing your past shit, which is what you hear from me all the time. If it's doing that, then I'm not in favor of it. I don't care if it's a fucking computer or a human. You got to go into your past shit, dude. You got to heal that childhood shit. And good luck fucking teaching a computer the complexity of that. Do you want to know how difficult it is for me to put into writing, taking someone into that nuance? I have to have someone in front of me. I've been working on another sequel to Love Cup with how much more shit, how many new tools I've learned and taught and created in session, but doing it in a book where I'm not in session, reading off of the person live. To do that, it's just so much experience and knowing and trusting my intuition. Teaching a fucking computer to do that, it's just like, that computer would literally have to be in session with me, learning from every session over 30 years of fucking doing it. Anyway, next question. All right.
Which they have. And, a lot of people, I understand, are having relationships with ChatGPT or other AI platforms. And it's just causing more distance between people.
Right. And I just don't believe that, if I'm being really honest, I don't believe there are great therapists out there who have had a fucking computer in the room, the really great therapist educating a goddamn computer. I just don't fucking believe it. And I mean, come on, let's just look at the world of chess. Is fucking Deep Blue beating fucking Marcus, whatever his fucking name is, consistently all the time? Nope. The computer doesn't always fucking win. But the human doesn't always win either. This is too complex an equation. The human animal, what is going on deep inside a human animal, it's not a fucking mathematical equation. It's just not. It is art, motherfucker. It is art. All right, next question. How do you leave someone when you have an attachment with someone? This is May Huntress. Honestly, by the same way you leave someone in any situation. If you didn't have an attachment, you wouldn't be asking how to leave them. You just walk away, right? So it's those feelings of connection. It's the feelings of love. You leave that person that you feel connected to by flushing out all those feelings of attachment. You have to journal on. You have to write letters about, I love you. I miss you so much. I feel longing to you. But you have all those feelings inside. And as you've heard me say about pain, until pain is out of you, it's still in you. Until love is out of you, it's still in you. Until rage is out of you, it's still in you. I get people saying to me all the time, I don't want to touch feelings of hate. Hey, I don't hate. Hey, I'm not a hater. Do you know that hate is a morally neutral feeling? It is neither good nor bad. It is simply a response to a stimulus. Now, if I go punch someone in the face because I hate them, now it's morally bad, right? But having a feeling, it's morally neutral, but we have so demonized that feeling. So people say, well, I don't hate anybody. That's bullshit. It is a natural response given a situation. Hey, feelings are just trains coming into a station. They come, they let people off the train, let people on the train, and it exits the station. If you allow a child to have feelings, if you allow a human to have feelings, if you allow yourself to feel what you say, get it out without hurting anyone, either with your words or your actions, you can get it out of yourself, that feeling will pass. Like exuberance when your team wins the game. You get it out, and then a day, 2 days, a week later, that feeling is gone. Same with hate. So when people say, oh, I'm not a hater, it's bullshit. If you haven't allowed yourself to feel the hate, guess what? Those natural feelings of hate are still in you. That means you are walking around carrying around the motherfucking hate. You are a motherfucking hater because you're still carrying it around because you haven't gotten it out of you. Once you get it out of you, you are no longer a hater. So the very people who claim to say, I'm not a hater, actually technically are, because all those feelings of hate they've not allowed to get themselves out, have not allowed to get out, they are technically carrying around. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, mofo.
So you're saying you hate people who hate?
I don't hate them.
Oh, okay.
Which parents?
You hate the concept of hating hate.
I think it's fool's errand.
Okay.
All right. Parenthetically, I saw a video this week. I don't know if there are some really good therapists on TikTok. I don't know if any of you follow Therapy Jeff. Smaller fella and has some really good insights and so forth. He's on TikTok and Facebook, and he's one, and there's another guy, and they got about the same number of followers. I think he's at like 2.9 million. I'm only at 2.1. He's a better man than I am. Anywho, how he did a thing recently on Mel Robbins, who has the theory, let them. And he opens his video. He has his catch line. His hook is, I hate Mel Robbins and I hate her therapy, let them. And then he goes on to talk about why he does. Now, I personally, I don't know Mel Robbins. I don't hate her. I mean, I know some of her stuff, and I actually rather like that theory, let them. You want to know why? Because I think it helps a lot of people. It's like Jordan Peterson. Do I listen to his stuff? No. Little bits and pieces. Mel Robbins, bits and pieces, sure. But if you're helping people, I'm all in favor of it. And it gives certain people language and so forth, I'm all for it. But hate the person. I'm thinking to myself when I watch the opening of this guy's video, if you open with saying, I hate a particular person, dude, you've practically lost me right there, especially if you're a therapist. It's like, really? Did that person kill your child? Because then I would understand that you literally hate the person. But to come out publicly saying you hate someone you haven't met, and just because that's your hook, it's like, that's just like, to me, it's just clickbait or something. It's like, dude, wow. But whatever, maybe he does hate her. I don't know, but I don't hate Mel Robbins. I don't hate him for saying that. Just to me, it's just like, okay, so you don't like her theory. But anyway, all right.
Let them is really useful in bad traffic, by the way.
I'll let him. Trickier for me to let him. But then her second piece of her book is actually let me. The emphasis on me. In other words, I need to let me be who I really am, which is really fantastic. I'm all for that. All right, next question. Tammy asked the question on Facebook. Are you pro going no contact because your father has been a complete hurtful bastard? What's your forgiveness on this? It's been 5 years. I personally don't think so. He doesn't deserve it. Covert narcissist. Am I pro going no contact because your father's a complete hurtful bastard? Father, friend, boss, if someone's a hurtful bastard and doesn't atone for it and change their behavior, why? For what reason would you maintain a relationship with any human being who continues to hurt you? Parent, child, no. That's all. And what's your forgiveness on this? The issue of forgiveness, as I've discussed on previous shows, is if you haven't gotten all your pain out, your rage, your anger, your sadness, your hurt, your betrayal, all those feelings out, your forgiveness is premature. Hold off on forgiveness. Get all your feelings out of you. Then you can talk about forgiveness. But forgiveness isn't the issue. It's don't be in relationship with people who are hurting you because you're fundamentally saying, I suck. I don't deserve to be treated better. And especially if they're not atoning for it and changing their behavior. Next question. Here's an interesting comment. Andrea Strabova says on TikTok, everything in moderation. We are individuals with different backgrounds. Everything in moderation. And that's a lovely sentiment. My girlfriend says that her Italian father always said that. He was born in 1916, everything in moderation. And yet, Oscar Wilde, the great writer, says it is only in going too far that we know how far to go. And I believe it's also Oscar Wilde who says the path of excess leads to the palace of wisdom. Ooh. I personally prefer the Oscar Wilde approach. I have only gained the wisdom I have gained. I'm in favor of moderation. I really am. I think that's great in a lot of ways. And it's a personal thing. Everybody's different, right? And I've learned to moderate my drinking over the years. I've learned to moderate my food intake over the years. Why? Because I'm vain as fuck, in case you guys haven't figured that one out yet. But I also believe that all the wisdom I have gained in life is because of the paths of excess I have taken. Too much sex, too much sin in terms of adultery, sleeping with the wives of married men and some married women back before I was 40. If I'm being really honest, that's my sin. All right. Adultery. Both my wives cheated on me. One got pregnant by my best friend, had an abortion. But I believe in the path of excess and the pain that comes from it and the reflecting on that pain. Wisdom doesn't come from pain. Wisdom comes from pain and the reflection. So it's really the reflection on the pain and drawing out the learning from it. So it's really the pain twice. Don't ever pray for wisdom because it comes at a hell of a price. So I really love Wilde's quote, the path of excess leads to the palace of wisdom. I really like that. And I love the idea of moderation. So I believe moderation, everything in moderation. I believe even great quotes in moderation, that even the idea of everything in moderation is great, except moderation isn't always best because sometimes excess fucking kicks ass. All right, because that's where the fun is. Who sings that song? But mama, that's where the fun is. Who is that?
All right, I got it. Manfred Mann's Earth Band, Blinded by the Light.
Blinded by the Light.
Yeah.
Rest up like a douche and in the rumor in the night. No, it's rest up like a deuce, another runner in the night. Right.
Yeah, revved up like a deuce.
Revved up like a deuce. Another.
Often misheard as wrapped up like a douche.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. You know Manfred Mann.
Yeah, no, I know Blinded by the Light. I didn't realize that was a lyric in it.
Or you just didn't recognize my butchering of the song.
No,
all right.
Wasn't that. You have time for one more, sir.
All right. Okay. Can a relationship be restored after I didn't walk away from 5 years of allowing cheating? I forgave. You may have forgiven, but the mere fact that you're asking, can a relationship be restored, says you don't fucking trust them. 5 years of allowing cheating. In all honesty, if you allowed someone to cheat on you for 5 years, you've got so much fucking pain inside of yourself, so much disbelief in your own worth. You have to, if you really want this relationship, I would be asking you why. What's the real reason? And I guarantee it goes far, far deeper than just, the kids, or just, but I love them. No. One of the things I talk about in my book on cheating, which is going to be coming out in the next few months here, is that everything in cheating has nothing to do with the marriage. It has everything to do with childhood. Both the cheater and the one, especially if you're allowing yourself to be cheated on, you need to go into, if you're even thinking about it, you need to go into this book because it's going to take you into the real roots of why you allowed it for 5 years and why you're even considering going back into that relationship. Can it be restored? Sure. But the mere fact that you're asking if it can be restored says you have doubt. Why would you have doubt? If you've forgiven, quote unquote, forgiven, doesn't forgiveness make it all go away? Well, obviously it doesn't. Otherwise you wouldn't be asking that question. You have massive amount of distrust and fear. What do you really have fear of? Getting hurt again. Him cheating or her cheating again. You don't say your gender. Right. Massive distrust. And the only way you're going to be able to walk back into it is healing your own crap and working on yourself. It doesn't matter how much they work on them, work on your own self so that what? So that you've gotten that giant bundle of all your pain from your past out of you so that if new pain comes, you know that you can handle it. So it's fundamentally about being able to trust your own self. And because that I can handle it, that I'll be okay. Because you're going to have to walk into the relationship now as if you are in a relationship with an alcoholic in recovery. Because an alcoholic in recovery can pick up that bottle on any given day. That's the mentality you have to have. They might cheat on any given day. It could start all over again. And if you can't get into that mindset, you're fucked. And that's what it's going to require. But in order to get into that mindset, you have to heal your own self. And once you have, then you have the tools for dealing with that. This is actually very, very interesting that you bring this up, because I literally put up a post. It's up right now on TikTok and on Instagram. I haven't had time to put it up yet on Facebook, YouTube, Lemonade, Red Note, or Threads, or Blue Sky, the one that I have no time for. So yeah, you've got massive healing of yourself. I guarantee it. If you allowed someone to cheat, you literally use the word allow, for 5 years, you have massive pain and disbelief in your own worth inside of you. I guarantee it, as a matter of absolute fact. And until that is healed, you're likely going back into this relationship for the wrong reasons. You're going into it because I need to hold on to this person, because the mere fact this person wants me confirms some sense of worth, as a way of making those voices inside of you saying, you don't have worth, you're a loser, you're no good. See, you're alone. See, I don't have worth. I see, I'm alone. So if I take this person back, then at least, even though he or she is this ongoing cheater, well, at least they want me, so I must have some worth. And then those voices inside of you that torture you, then they start to go quiet. Rob, can I take one more, please? Just one, please. Just one, please.
All right.
All right.
Long as you're being
so sweet.
As long as you're being polite.
All right. What about a serial cheater? I hope the book touches on that. Well, I was a serial cheater, so it's actually written from the perspective of a serial cheater. That counts as a question, Rob. But anyway, and it doesn't. Nah, that's it. We're good. All right, folks. This has been a great show. We've had so many great questions. This has been a wonderful morning. The sun is shining. I hope it's shining where you are, but know this, that even if it isn't, there's still great and glorious beauty. Folks, I hope you are doing the work to heal yourself, to keep going deeper, press yourself to going deeper. Folks, healing should not take a long time. It is not a function of length of time. It is a function of depth. You have to have the courage to push yourself to go deeper. You have to have the courage to go into yourself, even when you're scared, especially when it's uncomfortable. Get the book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. Get my follow-up book, Badass Wisdom. These were intended to kick your ass. Healing is not a lifelong journey. That is a myth. This shit does not have to take forever. This is not a lifetime. There may be new things that you have to overcome later in life, but it's not a lifetime thing that you'll never be healed, and it's just, I'm always broken. Fuck that. It's not true. Heal yourself. You can do this shit. It's time to slay your fucking demons. Rob, closing thoughts from you.
Just to be clear, on the songwriter of Blinded by the Light, you know who that is, of course.
Let me guess. Manfred Mann, Blinded by the Light. Yeah. I want to say Steve Winwood. No, he wasn't in Manfred Mann. No. Who?
It was Bruce Springsteen.
No shit.
Had the original. Yeah, he recorded it. Yeah.
No, but he didn't sing for Manfred Mann.
No.
He just wrote the lyrics.
Manfred Mann's Earth Band covered Blinded by the Light.
No shit. Are you going to see the movie?
Yeah, by the time this podcast comes out, it will be out. I'm excited about that film.
I am too. I love that actor.
It looks really good. Yeah, Jeremy Allen White.
Have you ever watched that show, The Bear?
I love The Bear.
It's awesome.
It is.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, have you watched the show, The Studio?
Yeah, it's too much like real life for me. I have to cringe all the time, but it's hilarious.
Rob was a senior vice president at Paramount Pictures, and so that show is great.
By the way, it's a documentary as far as I'm concerned.
We're on like episode 4 or something. Great show.
It's great. And may I say, sir, you are the king in the Palace of Wisdom.
Oh, shucks. Not true. On behalf of my team, KC over in the booth, who is just shaking her head, Rob the Rocket, slay your demons, have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by 2-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.